Hi guys, welcome back. So in today's video we will be going through the process of connecting dbt to mysql database. So let's get to it. Okay, so like I mentioned, in this video we will be going through the process of configuring dbt to mysql database. So there's a lot of misconception that dbt can only connect to cloud data warehouses, but actually you can connect dbt to on-premise databases as well. So this includes mysql, postgre, and even sql server. If you want to connect, you can actually connect dbt to those databases as well. So in this video I will be walking you through the process of configuring dbt to connect to mysql database, and this one is running locally. So in the previous video, if you have not watched, I went through the process of installing mysql database in Windows 11 environment, and I did also install mysql workbench. So in this video I will be using the environment that I set up previously to connect to dbt. Okay, but before we go further, if you are new to this channel, please do subscribe to the channel so that you can stay updated whenever I release similar videos. Okay, so let's get to it. So how do you set up or configure dbt to connect to your SQL or MySQL database? All right, so this is the documentation, and this one is from MySQL website. Actually, no, this is from dbt website, as you can see here. And this one walks you through the process of installing the MySQL or a dbt MySQL library, and this library or package really is the one that will help you to connect dbt to your MySQL database. Okay, so we will be installing this library or package and then go through the rest of the processes that will enable us to connect to the database itself. So let's go ahead and do that. So to do that, I am going to go to my Visual Studio Code. This is the code editor that I'm using. And what you want to do here is have a folder that you can use to do this setup. Okay, and to do that, it's just very easy. Just go to either your users directory or desktop and create that directory. So for me, I have it in, I have created one of the folder here called repos, and I have this MySQL dbt-mysql folder created. And then all you have to do once you have this created is just go to Visual Studio Code, go to File, and then open that folder. So just click it and then select folder. Okay, so that will bring that folder to Visual Studio Code. Now once you do that, the next thing that we will want to do is actually go ahead and install those libraries or the dbt mysql library. So to do that, what you will want to do is create a, just go to terminal, and what we want to do is create a virtual environment in Python. And the reason we want to do that is we do not want to install this library globally in our environment. So I'm just going to create that environment, virtual environment. So I'll say Python m v and v, and I will name the virtual environment dbt v and v, like that. And there's a video that I made previously where I went through the process of creating a virtual environment or Python virtual environment, and that one I went through that video in detail. So if you do want to watch the process of creating virtual environment in detail, definitely do take a look in the into that video as well. But yeah, this is just the basic command to create a virtual environment. So I'm just going to click enter on this one, and this one is going to create my virtual environment. And now what we'll do after this one is installed or is created is we will go ahead and install our libraries inside this environment. So we'll activate it and then install it. So it's created, and then to activate it we just go dbt, actually just type dbt scripts activate, like that, and then that will activate our virtual environment. Okay, so we have now the virtual environment activated. What we want to do next is to install the dbt libraries. So let's just make sure that nothing is installed in this uh, virtual environment. So if you type pip freeze, basically this lists all the libraries or packages that you currently have, and this one is pretty clean because we just created it. So let's go back now to our kite, and I will also put this one in the description so that you can follow along. And as you can see here, to install the package here, this is what you'll need to do. So just do python m pip install, or if you already have because we already created our virtual environment, we don't really need to do this. We can just install these two. And you can see the data platforms, the versions for MySQL that are needed for you to install this dbt, MySQL 7.5 and 8.0 for this. So if I go to my MySQL right here, workbench, where is that? It's right here. So if I go there, I think, yes, you can see here, this is my SQL 8.0. So this is the server that I installed previously. So do definitely follow that video so that you can install it if you want to follow along. Okay. So we meet the we currently meet the requirements for that, so we can go ahead and install it. Okay. So what do we need to do for that? We just need to install these two. So dbt core and dbt-mysql. I think previously, before 1.8, you could install just dbt-mysql and it will automatically install dbt core. But from version 1.8 and above, this has been deprecated, so you have to install both of them. Okay, so they have been decoupled from version 1.8, and this is version 1.8 of dbt, as you can see above here. All right, so we'll just go ahead and copy this and install it right here. So I'm just going to paste it here and click enter. So this is going to install both dbt core, which is the open source version of dbt, and it is going to install dbt-mysql, and this is the library that will communicate with dbt core. So this is what you need, and this is a package that will enable us to connect to MySQL database. So you do need to install both of these. So this will take a few seconds to install, and then once that is done, we will go ahead and do our initialization and proceed with the rest of the processes that will enable us connect to the database. So let's wait for that to complete. Okay, so it has completed downloading those libraries. So what we need to do now, let's just make sure that we have what we need. So if you type pip freeze, you will see that we have a lot of these libraries, like this one for my SQL connector for Python, but the ones we needed are a dbt core. This has been downloaded, and dbt-mysql. So these two are the ones that we needed. Obviously it has installed a number of other libraries as well. Okay, so we have now what we need, and now the next thing that we'll need to do is just initialize it. So just type dbt init, and this is going to initialize our dbt project. So just click that and enter. Dbt init, just click enter for that. And basically this is going to create our dbt project. It's going to create the structure, and we'll just need to fill the rest of that. Okay, so here saying enter the name or a name for your project. I'm just going to call this SQL, my SQL. And as you can see here, it's able to detect now the databases that we can connect to, just because we installed that library. Okay, so because of the library, it's able to detect that, yeah, these are the databases that I can connect to currently. So we have MariaDB, MySQL, and MySQL5. So I'm just going to choose number 2 for this. And as you can see, it has completed now. So if you go here now, you can see that we have our structure. So this is a structure for dbt. We have analysis, macros, models, seeds, snapshots. Okay, so this is the one that you will most often be working closely with. dbt. Macros is where you put your reusable functions. Seeds, this is where you put static files that you use as reference in your models. And snapshots is where you create your type 2 logic. Okay, and tests is where your tests go. Okay, so these three, I will say, actually, these four are the most oftenly used ones: macros, models, seeds, and snapshots. So these are the ones that you will most likely be interacting with the most. Okay, so if you go to your project now, dbt project.yaml, you can see the layout for that one is set up here. So this is the name for the project. This is the fashion. You can see the profile here is listed, and the rest of the other directories as well. Now there is one more important step that we need for this to be successful. So if you actually go inside your project, cd mysql, and do dbt debug. So this is the command that you use to see if your connection is set up properly. So currently it should be able to fail because we have not set up our connection to the database. Okay, so you can see here it failed on profiles.yaml, and the rest of them are working well. So you can see here profile, mysql, target, def, these are invalid schemas. So what we need to do is we need to go inside profiles and correct this file. Make sure that our connections to the database are listed there properly. Now, if you go here, you will not be able to see any profiles here. And that is because this profiles contains very critical information like the password, the name for your database, and all of that. So it's not going to be created here. However, if you go to your users directory, that is where it will be stored. Okay, so you go to your C directory, go to users, and then your username, and as you can see here, we have this file called .dbt. So this is where the profiles will be created and stored. So what you just need to do is open this. So I'm going to open this, and as you can see, that project was created here, or the profile was created here. So this is that profile for my SQL, and this was created automatically. So you just need to fill the rest of the remaining fields. So here, because I have my SQL installed locally, so I'm just going to do this on localhost. I believe you can also do 127.0.0. I believe it's .1. That's the IP for localhost, but localhost should do fine. And then the port for this one is 3306, although it mentions here as optional. You can also leave it, I guess. And then here the schema, the database, and it says it's optional, but should be the same as the database and schema. Although the database here is mentioned as optional. So what you need to do is go back to your MySQL database, and right here I have this database created. I mean, I have this databases currently, or schemas available in my database. So I have this CK tutorial and I only have one table currently available, and there are no views, and some of these other ones were generic. Okay, so I'm just going to take these CK tutorials as as the database to use. So actually, maybe let's not use this. I'm just going to create another schema. Create schema, and I'm just going to create one called CK data tech, like that. So, and I'm going to execute this. Hopefully this one ran fine. Yes, it did. And if you refresh here, you can see that we have CK data tech here now. So I'm going to use this schema now, and I will put it right here. This schema and schema as well. Okay, actually let's not use database because we don't have database in MySQL. So I remove the database and then just put schema. So that should work fine. And then my username, I'm using root for this, and this password was generic. I'm just going to enter the password, I guess. You know, obviously this one I installed it locally, but for critical environments you don't want to show this. So this is just for demo purposes. I'm going to delete it after this. I guess you can, yeah, this one you can delete or you can leave it. So this is in case you're building and deploying to higher environments, you can build it like this. But right now I'm just, I guess I can just delete this because I'm just going to do this in demo and dev environment only. Okay, so this is your profiles. Just save that. Just Control S if you're in Windows, and then once that is done, we can go back and test that again. Okay, we can go back and test that again. So this will remain the same. I don't think anything will change here. And then what we need to do is just do dbt debug again, and this time it should be able to run if our connection is properly done. So most of the issues that you will see here include okay, so this one went successfully, but like I was mentioning, some of the issues that you'll run to here is the user, if the user is not correct and if the password is not correct, you will not be able to connect. So the username that you use in that profile and the password should be the actual ones that you use to connect to your database. So they should match. Okay, so as you can see here, this is now successful. Everything is green and everything here passed. So I'm going to do one thing very fast. When you do the dbt init, it's going to give you it comes with generic models. This MySQL model, which is, I think one is materialized as a view and the other one is materialized as a table. So, and you can see the materialization for that here. So my first dbt model is let's see if the materialization is mentioned. Yes, so for this one, my first dbt model here, this is going to be materialized as a table, and the second one is going to be materialized as a view. And the reason why that is because you don't see a view mentioned anywhere, but if you go to dbt project, it says by default materialize everything as a view. So my first dbt model, because you used you specified here the configuration to be as a table, it's going to overwrite the one that was specified here. So when we run this, we expect to see my first dbt model coming in as a table and the second one coming in as a view because we didn't specify that here. So I'm going to do that, and this will be created in our database in MySQL. So I'm going to do that, dbt run, and this is going to run everything including the view. Okay, so this one is going to run, and if we don't have any issues, it should be able to create, and we didn't have any issues. So you can see that this has been successfully created. And you can actually tell from here that this is the schema, and it created my second dbt model as a view, as you can see here, and the first one, my first dbt model, was created as a table. So if we go here, if we go back to our mysql database, if you see, before it was empty because we just created it, and right now you have my first dbt model as a table and my second dbt model coming in as a view. Alright, so that is basically how you do it, and you can now proceed and do some other transformations with data that you have in your MySQL database. So I think that is basically what I wanted to show you guys in this video, how to connect or set up dbt to connect to MySQL database, and we have walked through that process and successfully connected. So in the next video, actually, I'm going to make another video where I will go through the process of now using data from my SQL. So we'll load data into some staging table here, and do transformation in dbt. For that, we'll come here, write some transformation queries, and write back the transformed data to my SQL. So we will do that in the next video, so definitely do stay tuned for that video. And again, if you have not subscribed to the channel, please do subscribe if you want to stay connected and be updated automatically whenever I release similar videos. I'm working on a number of videos that touch on a broad range of areas, including data engineering, both on-prem and cloud as well. I will also be talking about how you get into data analytics and data science or data engineering field, how you can be successful, and some jobs as well, basically anything related to data in general. So I will be releasing a number of videos of those, so if you are interested, do definitely subscribe to the channel. Alright guys, I hope the video was useful. Give it a thumbs up, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.